it's Johar. Welcome back to my channel, to the Witchy Reader. So I'm going to be talking about another book review. I know this is a little quick, but I started this book and then I finished this book in a few hours. A little bit more than a few hours because I started it but then got distracted, the whole thing. But yeah, I finished this book in less than a day. I loved it. It was so good. It's the Mantis Equilibrium. Book 2 in the Mantis variant. You should be able to find my review for the Mantis variant. Um, if you want to check that out first to see if this is a book you will want to read, I definitely highly recommend it. I loved it. I already did my review on the Goodreads and Amazon, and I loved it. It was just so good. It's horror dystopian. And so beware for the horror vibes because I know that's not for everyone. I love horror, which is why I wore my Scream shirt once again because Scream, one of the best horror movies ever. I like it because this, along with Nightmare on Elm Street, were the very first horror movies I ever saw, and for the longest time they were the only horror movies I ever saw because my mom's not much of a horror fan. But she likes these movies, so they were the only ones that I was able to get access to, and I watched them from a pretty young age, probably younger than I should have, to be watching horror movies, but I don't care. Maybe that's also why I don't scare easy. Like they just don't affect me anymore. And it wasn't until I moved to Florida for a few years and got close to my aunt, where she's a huge horror person, and I was able to get my horror movies from her, and I actually got my mom into some horror movie since, so I'm very happy with myself. Anyways, off my now I'm in the mood to watch horror movies. Crap. Oh well, it's 1:13 in the morning. Perfect time to watch horror movies. Turn off the light. I love to watch horror movies in the complete darkness because I'm weird like that. Anyways, moving on. This book was amazing. There's just so many aspects to it that I loved. I loved the fight scenes. I loved the climax and how this war that has started and all the gory horror details, of course. Won't get too into that. But it can be pretty gory. So, like I said, there's your warning. Because I know some people can't handle that, some people don't like it, which is perfectly fine. Just want you to know beforehand so that you don't get, you know, see something you might not want to see. But me personally, it's I love it. The more gory it is, the gorier the better is what I always say. And so I absolutely love the gory scenes. They're so much fun. It's so exciting. Uh, I was happy to get back to the characters that I loved in book one. Dozy, Elia, I'm not sure if I'm saying her name right. I think I am, but I might be wrong. The Mystic and his husband, Lahari. And then Auntie Peg, I absolutely love her. And she wasn't in that much in book one, but she had a slightly bigger role in book two, and I'm pretty sure she has a big role later on. I might be wrong, but all I know is that you see more and more drag queens, which I'm very excited for. You got a little bit more into that, but I'll get into that here in a minute. But and then you also meet a couple of new characters. There's T'Chara. I'm sure I'm not saying that right, but you find out they met her. This is a year after the events at the end of the Mantis variant, and you find out that they had met her 6 months earlier. So this is exactly a year after Agrel's death, and so they're all grieving, and they all become this little family, this found family. As you guys probably know, found family is my favorite trope. So I absolutely love when a book has found family. Like I can devour that, as you can see, because I devoured this book. Um, so they all decided to take a trip, a vacation, to try to get their minds off things, to get away from town and everything. And uh, they go to Dozy's hometown. I'm not gonna get too detailed, but it doesn't go as planned. But while they're there, they meet Niniano, no, Niniani, something like that. Who's a little boy who well, his entire village burned down, and he's a shift, like Elia and Lahari, who's a biological shift. I probably explained those in the first video, but I'll explain them again. A shift is someone who has these superpowers, basically, and they have this mantis gland in their brain, which gives them the powers. They're born with it, and people can kill them and eat it. So cannibalism is a part of this, and um, get those powers, and some people will even kill them to sell the mantis gland to people who might want those powers because they can get people rich because everyone wants a Mantis clan so they can sell for a lot. Um, so their lives can be very in danger and very they need to be very careful. Um, he doesn't he's in a very small town and he doesn't exactly know everything he's capable of, everything that he can do, and he doesn't even know he's a shift. He thought he was a god. Long story, but so they have to explain it to him, and they end up taking him with him because he doesn't have anything now. Because his entire village, everyone in it was burned, including his mother. So he had to, so he ended up going with them and kind of living with the mystic and his husband. He also got really close to T'Chara and Antipeg. Um, and and then when they get back is when this war started. You know, buildings are being set on fire, people are being murdered left and right. It's kind of a war between um, shifts and mostly biological shifts and Messiah. Messiah is called in book one Agrel. She was a part of it, but she after she realized what they actually were, she left, and because of it, um, so she was like an ex Messiah. They're basically a cult. They're the people who hate shifts the most, even though a lot of people hate shifts, and so they um absolutely hate shifts. They're constantly trying to kill them, thinking they're inhuman, that they're not human, that they're demons, monsters, freaks, whatever they want to call them. And because of it, this war is going on because biological shifts has had enough, especially what happened at the year ago at the end of book one, where there was this whole fight thing. Don't want to spoil too much. So because of it, the biological shifts have had enough and they're ready for revenge. And so there's this whole war going on. Biological shifts are constantly killing messiahs. Messiahs are killing biological shifts or any shifts that they can't kill. And until the end, when there's whole war going on in this town, there people are dying in the street. People are fighting, screaming, yelling, running, and it's this whole thing. Um, T'Chara got caught up in the crossfire. Luckily, she did not die thanks to Ninanu. Nina, I can't pronounce his name, but he gave her a. He had a mantis gland. He didn't even know what it was, but he had one. So I'm very curious about why he has one. But he gave it to her because they can also heal. So it was able to heal her, and she still mutilated. Her arm came off, said that couldn't heal back fully, but she is alive now, so that's good. And uh, and Lahari even joined the biological ships at one point, trying to take down the Messiah. And they finally killed the principal Messiah, which makes me so happy. But there's probably gonna be a new principal Messiah. Let's be real. Um, and yeah, so that's not gonna be fun. But there was this one scene that was absolutely fun. It's kind of off topic from all this fighting and horror and chaos and the war going on, but it was just a fun, sweet little scene. Auntie Peg, who is obviously drag queen, which I don't think I actually said, but I did imply. But she took Ninanu to a drag show, and it was just such a fun scene. And I've never actually been to a drag show, but I think they would be a lot of fun. I do know of a movie that my dad used to absolutely love when I was younger, and my sisters when they were younger, they used to watch it, and they were kind of obsessed with it. They were like put it on every night at one point. Uh, and it was a movie about drag queens. I'm trying to remember what it's about because I don't even remember, but I remember there are these four drag queens. Like that's all I really remember. They're in this town, and I think a lot of people don't like them for some reason. I may be wrong. But I don't really remember all because it's been many years. All I know is that at one point, my dad loved this movie, and my sisters were obsessed with it. Were constantly watching it and entranced by it, and yeah. So that was probably the closest I've ever gone to a drag show, but I think they seem fun. And the way this is portrayed definitely makes it seem fun. Ooh. Sorry, it's 1:21 when I'm filming this, and I'm gonna edit and upload it tonight too, because I'm tired. I stayed up to finish this because I didn't want to stop. But like I said, I loved it. One thing I also did love, I don't think I mentioned yet, was the fact that it, like I said, it's 1 year after the events of last book, and so I love how they keep mentioning Agril, and they're kind because it's like her death anniversary or whatever, and they're trying to um, honor her and honor her memory and constantly talk about her because even though it's been a year, you know, she was part of the family. They all loved and missed her, and I absolutely love that they this book didn't just forget about her like um, or hardly mentioned her, just here and there. I love that even though she wasn't there, it still felt like she was there a lot of the time, and that made me so happy because, like I said, I think in my last video, Agrel was my favorite character in book one. I absolutely loved her, and I was so heartbroken when she died. I'm tearing up, I think. I love that. Might have to be from the yawning though, but I absolutely loved her. Her death broke me, and um, I mentioned it a little bit in my mid-year freakout tag that I did today or yesterday technically, um, where I was talking. I said that Agril was probably one of the saddest deaths I've ever read that about, up there with Fred and Lupin from Harry Potter, Udra from Seekers, and Matthias from Six Crows, and David from King of Scars, because those were have always been these deaths that hurt me the most, deaths that were saddest to me, and Agrel is up there with those. So that says a lot because I'm sure I've read a lot of deaths in books, but Agrel's really hurt like all the other ones I just named. So yeah, but this book was amazing. I just absolutely loved it, devoured it. It was just so good. I don't know if I'll be starting this third book tomorrow. Well, technically today I might. I want to, but it depends on if I can, because I also have an author interview, and I also want to get some writing done because I originally wanted to write today, but that didn't end up happening because I ended up getting busy, and then I ended up doing other things. So because of it, my reading was pushed back. So I was originally going to read earlier in the day and then write at night because I tend to write at night more often, but that didn't end up happening. So I might now read tomorrow and then write during the day, and then do the author interview in the evening, obviously. Um, but I'll definitely start it on Sunday if I don't do it tomorrow. Um, because I am so excited for book three, especially how book two ended, and I cannot wait for it. So I'll let you know my thoughts on that. I'll probably do a book review then, so look out for that in a couple days. I definitely highly recommend checking um, this book out of the series. Book one is the Mantis Variant, book two is the Mantis Equilibrium Room, and then book three is the Mantis Corruption. I don't know. I don't remember what book four is going to be called, but it's not out yet. But yes, please like and subscribe and comment. I'll talk to you guys next time.